Hello everyone, welcome back. It's time for a bit more of RiftBreaker. So I finished the campaign before, so I got a general idea of how the game works now, and I plan on making this Let's Play a bit more of a tutorial based one. So we'll go through a few things, I'll try to show you around what I learned, some tips and tricks, some things to make your life a bit easier. So for this playthrough we're gonna go with normal, just so we have that luxury of time and abundance of resources, so we can cover all the topics, what is a good thing to research, what weapons are good, what weapons are so-so, best practices and things like that. But definitely if you want to see a much harder playthrough, either a survival or a campaign on a higher difficulty, like a brutal, hardcore sort of one, definitely let me know in the comments below. I'd be very interested in making something like that. So let's get into the game and start explaining things as we go. That should be a good way to do this. Let's get through the cinematic.
RiftBreaker Ashley reporting successful jump procedure.
Roger that. Begin field-based setup.
Houston, I've spotted something near the LZ. It's closing in.
Rift jump successful. All systems check. Gravitational strength 1.05 G. Atmospheric pressure within safe levels. Magnetic field check. Error. Repeat magnetic field check with stationary equipment. Star system positioning check. Milky Way galaxy. Sycorax belt. Planet Galatea 37. Ashley, we have arrived.
Welcome to Galatea 37, Mr. Riggs. It's so beautiful here. Virtual simulations on Earth were good, but this is amazing. An alien tropical paradise, and we're the first humans to experience it.
I'm not exactly human. You have a few parts missing as well. And the paradise part is also left to be determined. Remember your training, Ashley. We should set up a base as soon as possible.
You could at least pretend to be human. Just a bit. But you're right. There's no going home until we can construct a functioning rift station. Let's start with the basics.
Ashley, construct a headquarters building to secure our presence here. It will allow me to reconstruct if my armor is destroyed.
We don't have enough carbonium to build an HQ. Let's scout for a deposit and set up our base close to it. We need to move quick. It's probably a matter of time before the natives spot us.
Okay, so there is a bit of blah blah in the beginning, while the game tries to tell you what you should focus on, what you should do. So for now, their first mission is to gather 200 carbonium, which is our core resource, and construct a headquarters building, so we can replenish our health, and if we die, we can be reconstructed. While they were talking, I've just been going around destroying nature, trying to open up this space and see what's around us, since I'm looking for a suitable place to start our base. So as you can see, the map is quite big, and we want a location that is kind of easy to gather resources but also defend, since defense is really critical in this game. Have a geyser over here. A good way when you fight those red spawns, or if they are yellow later on, is walking backwards and just using your melee weapon. Your melee weapon is unlimited, and when you walk backwards, you walk slightly faster than they do, so they cannot really reach you. Every enemy has their own sort of strengths and weaknesses, which we will explore as we go through this. Gathering a lot of random materials. There they are again. Oops. Ah, yeah. And those yellow things, do not melee them. Use your weapons.
We've gathered enough resources to construct a headquarters building.
Finally. Let's place it close to a carbonium deposit. This will help us speed up resource production.
And that's the plan. So these yellow plants over here, they're quite dangerous and they explode. So just move far away, aim at them, and use your gun with a right click. And that will make them explode. Collect the resources, and you're good. They do not regenerate. They do not grow again. Some other resources do, but I'm not entirely sure which trees do and which ones don't. Later you can cultivate a number of them as you research them. Okay, so if we look at the map, we have 1, 2, 3. We have 3 carbonium deposits right here. So this is a pretty decent location. So I'm gonna try to build around the middle. So pressing Control to bring up the construction interface, selecting our headquarters, and we're just gonna plop it right about here.
Headquarters construction is in progress. This is going to be our main base of operations on Galatea 37, our new home.
We have to protect this building at all costs. You will be teleported here whenever I am critically damaged. There is no other backup if this building is destroyed.
That's basic training, Mr. Riggs. Let's focus on the less obvious things.
I am required to remind you of basic protocol, even if we've done this before. We need to expand the base. Let's build a carbonium factory to do the digging for us.
Yes, we've got much more interesting things to do. Let's automate this.
Okay, so we got a bunch of carbonium around here, which is beautiful. So first we want to make a small perimeter. Oh yeah, and when you get near the HQ, you will automatically heal yourself. So let's see, what area do we want to box in? I kind of want to get all 4 of these together, so this will be quite a big area to work with, but it shouldn't be too bad. The game wants us to build a carbonium factory, so we're gonna go here on the infrastructure buildings.
Ashley, we really need that carbonium factory.
I know. We'll go over the carbonium mine over here. 52,000, that's a lot.
Ashley, I'm sure that our presence will not go unnoticed. We should build up our base as quickly as possible.
Yes. So to build this, we need 50 pieces of...
protocol advises to set up walls and sentinel towers around the base. However, I don't expect as much aggression from the native fauna as in the simulations.
So far, it looks like the long-range quantum scans were very accurate. The local fauna and flora appear almost exactly like during training. Follow the protocol, Ashley.
The environment in the simulation was very accurate, that's true. But the scenario was crafted by RiftBreaker Command. They usually focus on the brute force aspect of these missions.
Do you want to run a brute force check if this is a simulation?
You never give up, do you?
Do you?
Okay, Mr. Stubborn. I guess it won't hurt to set up some solid defenses, just in case.
Thank you, Captain Novak.
You're welcome, Mr. Riggs.
So there is a fair bit of banter between the two, but that's okay. So to build the carbonium factory, we need 50 pieces of carbonium, and at the moment, as you can see, I'm mining it myself. So let's start building a few of these. Each one will consume 20 energy and 1 ore. So it takes 1 ore out of this, produces 1 ore. So I want to try to maximize how many of this I can have. They will cost more energy, but it will be a better rate of collecting resources. So as long as they have some of it, they will be able to mine it. And later we can recycle the ones that run out. So we have 4 of them, which means 80 energy. We have 5 minutes.
Will require huge amounts of power to operate.
Yes,
Right
yes.
now, we can only construct some basic power plants, wind turbines, and carbonium power plants.
Wind turbines are less effective, but they work around the clock. Carbonium power plants are very effective, but they use up the deposits that they are placed on.
In the beginning, it's best to use a combination of these power sources. We can balance energy peaks and shortages by storing excess energy in energy storages. Also, remember to connect all buildings to the power grid using energy connectors. They connect all buildings within their area of operation, even if power lines are not visible.
So, next thing we need to take care of is power. So, if you see down here, we have the solar power and the wind power. In this location at the moment, both are pretty good. But the wind turbines run continuously and they produce 12 per second, while the solar panels run only during the day, produce 20 a second, but you need to store the excess power. So, as the game suggested, we need a combination. So I'm just going to create a small section of wind turbines.
Not enough carbonium.
I connected the cabling over here just to transfer the power. So you can see here that at the moment we produce 20 and we consume 80. The more those are getting built, this is going down. So now we are about to break even. I'll put one more here. 2 more. So we'll have a surplus of 12. I want to start storing this. This is costing also carbonium. In the beginning, everything costs carbonium. Oh, no, no, no. I don't want you over there. I like building this one in sort of blocks.
Ashley, I strongly advise you to construct an armory. It will allow us to craft new weapons and upgrades, and also manufacture field repair kits, as well as other usable items.
And it will produce more ammunition for your guns. Yes, that is an important building.
Yes, a very important building, but we will get to it. Don't worry, game. We got this. Okay. So to build this, we will need ironium and carbonium. But let's sort the power before we get there, because we always want to have a surplus of power, and 12 is not enough. And let's do this. One more. Yes, birds. There you go. So each one of those can store... How much power can you store? 10,000. So this will be 60,000 worth of energy, which is plenty to keep us going, even if these stop working completely for a day, which is our goal. Now, while those are getting built and we're collecting carbonium, I want to go around and find this. Ironium Ore. Another resource we're gonna need a lot of, not as much as carbonium, but a fair amount of it as well. So, since it's quite far from our base, we don't really want to have like a huge block to include this in. So we will protect this in a slightly separate way. So same way we build a carbonium factory, we're gonna build an ironium factory. Again, consumes 20 energy, 1 iron ore. And this is a kind of big mine, so I'm gonna do 2, 3, 4, 5. So there will be 5 of them, that's 100 energy. One of my options is to drag the power and connect it all the way with the rest, or try to isolate this and have its own sort of power source. Let me just get rid of this thing because it's dangerous. Thank you. For this case, what I will do is I'll open the crafting inventory and I will place down a rift portal. Teleportation is very, very important and very, very vital in this game. So I'm just gonna put a quick teleport over here, and I'll start making those energy connectors, and I'll just drag them all the way back to the base, which is not that far. So now power will flow through them, and they will start mining. We no longer have a surplus, so I need to make more power sources. But when I'm over here, and I want to defend the other side of the base, let's say the HQ, I can just press tab. This is my map, and those...
a large group of creatures heading towards our position. It looks like our presence is being noticed.
Yes.
Ashley, we don't have a lot of defensive structures. Prepare to fight.
We got it, we're fine.
You were right about setting up more defenses. We'll have to handle this ourselves. Remember to use repair kits if necessary.
So we have those 2 points to teleport, the new platform we made, and the HQ, which is automatically 1. And here is where the direction that this attack will come through. So let's teleport back to the base.
Build more storage facilities.
I will have to wait, Mr. Biggs. So let's break this.
Steel storage is full. Build more storage facilities.
So enemies will begin from the edge of the map, and they will rush towards you. So always be mindful of that and the direction they will visit you from. Kill them, kill... Yep, perfect.
Ashley, are you still skeptical about the local creature's level of aggression?
I'm skeptical about the procedures for prepping this planet for colonization. Humanity lost its love for nature after the Yellowstone eruption. But that doesn't mean we shouldn't try to preserve this ecosystem.
Earth is barely habitable at this point. We have to secure Galatea 37 for colonization and resource extraction as soon as possible. Excessive care about the local environment is unnecessary.
That's not entirely true. Other rift-breaking missions have already secured a number of resource-rich planets for humanity. We're not on the brink of extinction.
Our goals on this mission are clear, and our survival and security is the top priority. Damage to the ecosystem is inevitable. You wanted to come here yourself, and you knew what has to be done. Are you doubting the mission?
I know what has to be done. That's not the point. Galatea has to be prepared for colonization. I don't doubt that. If I didn't come here myself, then someone else would have. I believe that we can do this in a better way. We have to defend ourselves and secure the necessary resources to set up the Rift Station. But we don't have to destroy all the wildlife we encounter. Humanity doesn't need another stripped-down factory world. If we want to progress as a species, then we should study this planet and learn how to blend with the environment and prepare a safe home for humanity.
Wind speed projection is returning back to statistically normal values. Wind turbines are back at nominal power levels.
Okay, now that they finished their little conversation, so...
It looks like we have the base up and running. If you'd like to construct more advanced buildings, you'll have to upgrade the headquarters building. Unfortunately, this process also emits a lot of high-frequency energy waves.
These creatures are clearly drawn to our energy emissions, so it will be like an alarm bell for them. We should strengthen our defenses before upgrading the HQ.
So, the game had a lot to say, but now that they are done talking, I have unlocked a few standard flooring, so those are considered decoratives in the game. You unlock them by looking at finding hidden caches of loot. So I just put a few of those down just to, I guess, give it some sort of structure. I like the world looking like a factory, so... Now you will see here that our power now is at a positive, and our resources have capped. So when the resources are capped, and the mines have this icon, they can no longer mine this particular resource because there is no storage, and there is no need to consume that energy. So I'm just going to create a few more of these, so they can keep filling them up, and I will make another one of these sections. and have 9 more wind turbines. I'm gonna make some solar as well, but not just this
Not
moment.
enough carbonium.
And you can see at the moment we are getting 8 carbonium, a second 9 carbonium. So this 4 gives us 4, but with me mining I get another 4. See, this immediately drops down to 4. Same thing with energy. Later buildings will consume an upkeep of carbonium to operate. So we'll need to keep an eye on that and try to remain on the positive side of things. Let's put this down. There you go. Okay. Let's just close this one.
Steel storage is full. Build more storage facilities.
Now the game was really adamant about us building an armory. The reason it wants us to build an armory is so we can get access to replenish a lot of our ammunition. Now, if you see here, or on our right-hand weapon, we have 0 out of 320 bullets, because we use them all up. The only way to replenish them is with an armory, and they replenish slowly. So that's something we need to keep in mind. So let's place this down. I'll just place this right about here for now. I might move things around later, but just not this moment. And no, you absolutely don't need to do what I'm doing with those blocks. It's just beautification. And helps me sort of design how much space I want to spend for each section. You also have lamps. You have this basic lamp from when you start, and the game can be a bit dark in the beginning. So I like placing lamps around when possible, just so I can have a bit of visibility. They consume a little bit of power, but for one, I don't really mind.
Carbonium storage is full. We should construct more storage buildings.
Okay. So we keep getting full of resources. Let's fix that. We will talk in a moment, but...
Armory construction finished. We can now use it to craft new items. It will also automatically manufacture ammunition for my weapons.
Okay. To have storage for more resources and continue this production going, here you will see that we have an upkeep of 1 and 1. So they are working and stopping because they are reaching the cap. So here in the production, we will select solid metal storage, and this will increase our capacity by another 200. So I'm just going to put 1, 2, 3, and wait a little bit for more carbonium to build the 4th. That should get us to about a little over 1,000 of those resources. So we will keep the production going, and since later we will be upgrading buildings and building other type of buildings, we're gonna need a lot of resources. And we'll need to keep up with the demand. Now, before we end the first episode, my goal is to try to box this in a little bit. So we're gonna go on the defensive buildings, we're gonna select the basic wall, and use the terrain as much as possible to build an effective defense. So I can start blocking this all the way here. So the water or the mud is kind of difficult to defend. So what I will do is I'll start this from this rock over here, and you can always expand it later. And just drag it all the way to these rocks. So you go over here while we wait for resources. We'll need to build a lot more stuff for power, but we'll get there. Now, as you can see, you cannot go outside from the wall, so I will need a gate. So I'll select the wall gate. It doesn't matter which way you're gonna place it. You can use the middle mouse roll to just, or the middle mouse button to rotate it around. I like to make it point outwards, so I'm gonna put a door here. Select again the basic wall and try to box this in as much as possible. So I think these will be good. If this wall segment was much longer, I could go for a second gate or a third. It really depends on what you need. For now, one will be enough. So the top is kind of boxed in. Now I need to select the second. I need to block off this sort of west side. So I will continue from this rock and expand up to this one. Oh, hello guys. You're back to play. Very good. And I actually want to box in this carbonium so I can push up my carbonium production, since as you can see, we're using a ton of it. So I'll aim to keep it around the same height. You don't really need to, just something I like doing. So I'm gonna block this. I'm gonna put two gates in this case, one over here on this side, and another one closer to this side, depending on where I wanna exit.
Steel storage is full. Build more storage facilities. Weather conditions are changing. Wind speed is increasing.
And I'm going to close off this side. And of course, gonna put a gate as well. There you go. I put this backwards, that's okay.
Wind turbine efficiency is at maximum.
This little side looks like it's a half block, but not fully. So I make like a little corner here, just to be sure. Bit of an unnecessary detail, but will give me the peace of mind that nothing can squeeze through this. And now I need to close down this side. So we're just gonna go here, drag this to this side, place a door, place another door, another piece of wall over here with another door. Just gonna cover this in case something can squeak through. And now we need to expand this. So I will try to keep the geyser inside my base. And expand this wall.
Returning back to typical values. Wind turbine efficiency returning to normal.
I don't want to go that far, so I will just box this in here. I'll put a door here. Another one around the middle. And just for now, another one near this vent. We will set up some teleporters as well, but in just a moment. Okay, so we need to continue this gate. This wall, not gate. There you go. And we need to place some gates, so again I'm gonna go with two. They don't really cost much, they cost just 25. And you do want the access, you want to be able to get outside when you can. Okay. That's all done. So now we are sort of boxed in. We don't really have any defenses yet, but it's a start. We don't need to block this off. So looking at the map, yep, we got a nice box going. So you can see that those black sort of spots are all the rocks. We'll just put some teleports around and we'll end this episode. So I want one next to the mines and near the exit so I can easily defend it. So I'm just going to place it over here. If you look now, there is no highlight, so I cannot place it next to another one. you need to go up to a specific distance to be able to place another one. You see this blue area here? So I'm just gonna put another one over here. Keep going on this side. Place one more over here. We have one in the middle, so I don't need to place one. I'll go with one in between these two. I want one close to those two gates and the mine, so one over here should be plenty. And ideally I wanted one over here, but I can even place it outside if I like. For this case, we'll place one outside. And I think this is a beautiful place to stop our first episode. So we set up the two basic mines for carbonium and ironium. We set up a basic perimeter to keep us safe for now. And on the next episode, we're gonna work on a few towers, more energy, more production, and slowly get into research. Thanks everyone for watching. Don't forget to drop a like, a comment, subscribe, all the fun stuff. And I'll catch you all on the next episode. Bye bye.